My new gen Saab 900 behind me right here has a very peculiar problem with the dashboard rattling. As you can see, when I was idling in the driveway, it was rattling pretty bad. And then also at certain RPMs while I'm accelerating or driving, it'll shake pretty bad as well. This is a common problem on these cars as far as I can tell. And so today we're going to be fixing that. Let's get started. Thanks to some of you that actually helped me out with this. As you could see in that video, it was pretty clear that the area over there was shaking pretty bad. But I also noticed that if I'm driving and it's rattling and I put my hand right here, it stops rattling. So the common problem is essentially this plastic piece along here, this defroster cover under the windshield. So we need to remove that, inspect it, hopefully not break it because it's going to be brittle old plastic, and probably add some sort of insulation or something to help reduce the shaking. The other thing is my dashboard shakes. It's hard to get that on video, but the whole thing just sometimes will just shake up and down. So I'm going to try to also check all of these mounting points for the dashboard, see if there's any screws missing or anything funky going on that might be leading to that. And last thing before we get started, next weekend, Saturday, November 8th at 10 a.m., we're going to be having our annual Saab Club of Arizona meet at IMM Auto Service in Tempe. You can find the details on the screen right here. We'd love to have anyone out. We have a lot of people come from out of state every year. Should be a great turnout. We'll probably do a cruise to some of the scenic roads around the Phoenix area afterwards. Also some awards. We're going to be doing some People's Choice. So there'll be a video on that on the channel, but hope to see some of you there. Let's tackle this issue. Our first step is going to be removing these two speaker grills. I mean, you can see already just from pressing on it how this is not very well secured. And they want you to use a screwdriver per whisk. And I do see there's just a tiny little slot open right here, and it looks like that works pretty well to pop this off. Just a few clips, gently pull those up, and there we go, we've got the speaker cover off. I'm gonna do the same on this side. It also looks like there's a couple of these little plastic pop rivets. I'll put a picture on the screen. Those are also not fully seated, which might be causing this to rattle around. So I think we have a couple good signs so far. Next, however, we're going to slide this forward, and this should kind of come out. Twist that. There's a little bulb there and a little connector. Next, little 10 mil right here. Pop these two little rivets out. Now this should just be held in by clips, and this is the scary part because I truthfully do not know where these clips are. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. Oh, all right. Okay, it said to move it sideways, so there we go. I got some movement there. There we go. Without breaking anything. So the issue I was having is, you can see there's these four big pieces here, and I can see there's already tape over it, so maybe someone tried this repair in the past. But those four like big pieces kind of clip into these four spots here, and so I was having trouble with that, but we got it out without breaking it. I'll consider that a win. So to figure out this dashboard rattle, I've of course already noticed that those two screws up there have a ton of washers on them, which is very suspicious. I think I want to try to remove the glove box, because in order to remove the dashboard, you need to remove the glove box per whisk, which of course makes sense. So I think if I can maybe remove this, it might give me access to some of the inner workings behind there and maybe might reveal some more clues. So there's just a bunch of Torx screws all throughout here I'm going to remove. Interestingly, this is another bolt that looks like it might be factory, but it's like not, like it looks like it was misaligned when the dashboard was installed. And as a result, like, I don't know, something about it just seems a little bit off. I'm going to just start poking around in here, just see if I can find all the mounting points, and hopefully there's nothing too crazy going on. So I'll show you what I've found so far. I've pulled down this lower dash piece here, which is just held in by a bunch of T25s. Both of these, same as they are on the other side, these two zinc plated bolts. Those were just a hair. I mean, they could have been tightened more. They were probably already tightened as much as they should have been. I tightened them down more just to be safe. These two T25s, I doubt this is the rattling, but these were very loose. This whole fuse panel was just kind of flopping around, so that's not good. And then this 10 mil back in here, which is like for a little bracket that I guess goes to the body that helps hold the dashboard in, that you can still see is just a hair loose, I think. I can get my nail underneath the bolt and the washer. So I think that can be tightened just a little bit more. So I'm going to stick the impact on there. As far as everything like up underneath here, I can't see quite everything without really taking everything apart, which is not what I want to do. Obviously, these are the most concerning ones right here. So what I'm going to do is tighten those up, put this all back together, including the glove box, and then we'll take these two out and figure out why the heck they have so many washers on them. All right, so here's what I've done, and I'm hoping this will be good enough. So I've went ahead, I've cut out pieces to put on these two ends, and then I poked some holes through here for the, you know, the rivets or the other holes, so those can still squeeze through. And I placed a bunch of strips up along here. I also just put a little piece here to be safe. I super glued all these down in just a couple spots. So you can see they're really on there. So hopefully this all fits in. It's not too much on there. And then what I also did, because the foam is going to be too thick for this, there was some tape on these spots previously, but I went ahead and added some tape. I also put the tape further down. It was just on the edges to start, and now it's the whole way down. Now, lastly, as far as these weird bolts go, I initially thought that these were just a ton of washers stuck on, and it looked very suspect. However, looking at this closely, this is actually a spring. So it's almost like it's there to be an anti-vibration thing, which is kind of ironic because it's, I don't know, maybe it's not doing its job, but I'm guessing this must be a factory bolt. You guys can let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, but I guess they were pretty tight. I'm just going to tighten them down the most I can, and I guess we'll send it. So I have to put these bolts back in, the glove box back in, and hopefully click this in here with no problems. Here's kind of a good look at this spring in action. You can see it tightening as I tighten this down. Very interesting. You can see it's starting to get tight now. All right, so the only two things I need to be aware of are the plug and the bulb for the little sunlight sensor right here. I'm going to feed those through. Basically, again, what we have to do, because of those four pieces that are sticking out, is we have to put it in on one side and then slide it over so it slides into all four of those. I'll tell you that getting all four of these lined up at once is going to be a minor miracle, so I'm going to continue struggling with this off camera. If you're doing this job, what I can tell you is you need to do the two middle ones first, and then you can do the two outside ones because the two middle ones are wider. So I have those in now. Let's just hope that this all clips in as it should, which it sounds like it did. And our little sensor, don't forget to stick the bulb back into its little socket. You push it down and slide it back. Put these two pop rivets in. And lastly, our speaker grills. Now, speaker grills are one piece I did not touch as far as insulation, I guess. So if we do need to modify it at all, thankfully these are the easiest parts to remove. There we go. We are all back together. Let's take it for a drive, see if we fixed anything. So we're gonna go no microphone so that way you can hear these vibrations a little bit better. This is right after startup. It's cold, or the car is cold, I should say. Looking at the speaker grill, for example, whereas before you might remember it was shaking pretty bad. Now it's not shaking it's not shaking at all, I should say. I definitely still kind of feel a vibration in general, but let's take this thing for a drive and see what happens. I think I might have partially fixed it, but at the same time misdiagnosed the problem. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So if I go down in the first gear, and remember again, around 3,000 RPM is where I'd hear that before. You can still hear that noise. However, as I'm pushing down on here, nothing's changing. And that's when I realized it's the mirror. It's been the mirror the whole time. All right, let's see if we can get this mirror fixed. I think this is kind of a common problem on these as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. But this is just held in by some clips. Let's see if we can get this out without breaking it. All right, so there's this one push pin that goes in there. And we have 3 Torx screws that are hidden way in there. So after taking the car for a drive, I wanted to confirm it wasn't this plastic cover here. So what I did is I just recreated it, and I noticed that it's this spot back here that seems to be making the vibration noise. So let's get this removed. So you can see that play right there is coming directly right in that spot there. The ball joint itself is all good. That little bit of vibration is the issue. And I see no way to disassemble this. I'm not sure what can really be done about that. I did just a shot in the dark. I just put a good bit of super glue the whole way around the outside of that, and now it's not moving. So granted, what I'm doing now is far less stress than what it's going to feel when it's shaking in the vibration of the car, but I'm going to do the same thing on this side now, and then we'll reinstall it, and I guess we can give it a shot. Let's see if that works. All right, mirror is reinstalled. Let's take it for a drive. One other thing I want to note is the motor mounts on this car are all good. That was the first thing I checked. One of the first things I checked when I bought this car, and I heard this awful vibration. It's not making the noise. I'll call that a win. Well, that was a bit of a unconventional fix. As far as I know, can't speak for the longevity of how long that super glue is going to last. Hopefully it does last for a while. If anyone else has fixed that same issue before, because I know it's a common issue, please let me know down below in the comments. Feel pretty happy with the result of this video. A lot of kind of trial and error, but I think we got a much improved result in the end. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, reminder, Saab Club of Arizona meets. Details right here. Next weekend, I hope to see you all there, and I'll see you in the next video.